Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel Joyful Jessie. If you are new here, I am Jessie. In today's video, I am so excited to share with you guys one of my favorite weeknight dinner meals, and that is rice and beans with baked pork chops. Arroz con habichuelas guisadas y chuletas asadas. So make sure to stick around and watch. To season my pork chops today, I am simply going to be using a little bit of olive oil, some paprika, onion powder, a little bit of turmeric for color, some garlic powder, some adobo, a little bit of pepper, and a tiny bit of oregano. All right, so I have my 5 assorted pork chops here. I'm gonna start by coating them a little bit with olive oil, like this. And I like to alternate them, that way the bottom ones get stuff all over them. And I'm first going to begin with the adobo. I'm simply going to sprinkle a little bit of adobo all around them. You know, tiny bit, turn it over, tiny bit over here, bring the next one up. I mean, you can use your hands if you want to, but I don't want to get my hands dirty. So that's why I am simply using a fork to do this. Whoops. You can season these ahead of time and have them in the fridge ready to go when you come home from work. I didn't really do that ahead of time, but definitely that would save so much time if you do that beforehand. Now that I have my adobo done, I'm simply going to go ahead and add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of the paprika. Now I'm going to use a little bit of turmeric, oregano, some garlic powder, and some onion powder. And now I'm simply going to go ahead and mix them all together. You can do this with your hands, but I don't want to get my hands dirty, so I'm simply just going to do this like this. All right, friends, and now that our pork chops are all seasoned up, I'm simply going to go ahead and place them in my baking dish. All right, now that our pork chops are ready to go, it's time to put them in the oven. We're gonna place the pork chops in the oven at 350 degrees for 35 minutes. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started on our beans. So these are the ingredients that we are going to be using today to make our habichuelas guisadas. I'm going to be using some adobo, 1 can of Goya pink beans, and then I'm going to be using the same can to measure water that is going to go in there. So 1 can of Goya pink beans and then 1 can of water, a can of tomato sauce. I have about 1 clove of minced garlic, 1 little packet of Goya ham flavoring. I have some fresh cilantro, about 2 tablespoons of sofrito. This is my own homemade sofrito. If you're interested in seeing how is it that I make it, please go ahead and check on the right hand corner so that you can see how I make it if you would like to make it. I have 1 cup of a meat. I typically like to use kielbasa or ham. Today what I have available in my refrigerator is hot dogs. So I'm going to make this with 1 cup of hot dogs. Well, close to a cup. It's 2 hot dogs. And then I'm going to be using a butternut squash. This is about 3/4 of a cup of butternut squash that I had bought a while back, and I cut it and I just put it away in Ziploc bags for them to be used today. You don't have to use butternut squash. You can use a potato or pumpkin instead, but I just love the nutty flavor that it gives to my beans and the creaminess that comes out of it. I just absolutely love it. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. And today I have my little munchkin here that really wants to help mommy make dinner today. First, I'm going to begin by turning my heat into a medium. Then I'm going to go ahead and put about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Next, we're going to add in the hot dogs. Can you add in the hot dogs, May? Yeah. Closer, because it's not hot yet. Just put it in. Get it closer, okay. the hot dogs. Sofrito.
I can just use my finger if it doesn't.
Very good. And we are going to go ahead and give everything a mix. Carefully mix. Can I mix it first for a minute? Make sure it all goes in there.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and mix. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our Goya ham flavoring. And we're just gonna let things saute in there for a couple of minutes. After a couple of minutes sauteing, we're gonna go ahead and add in the garlic.
Done.
Okay.
And mix it now?
Yep, go ahead and mix it. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the beans. Carefully, get closer to the pot though. Next, we're gonna add our tomato sauce.
So slow.
And then finally, we're gonna go ahead and add our water in here. And finally, we're gonna add in our butternut squash. And finally, our cilantro. And last but not least, we're going to put 1 teaspoon of adobo. And then gently mix everything. Once everything has been mixed in, you're gonna let everything come up to a boil. Once the beans make it to a boiling point, I am simply going to stir occasionally. I'm gonna leave the heat at a medium, and I'm gonna go over to work on my white rice. I simply love using my rice cooker. I put about 2 cups of rice in here that has already been washed. I put some oil, and then I'm simply going to add a little bit of salt in it. About a teaspoon, well, about a 1/4 teaspoon, I would say. You know, you can salt your rice to taste. My beans give the flavor to the rice, so I don't put too much salt in it. I go ahead and mix it, close it, set it to my turbo, and cook. Now back to our beans. Our beans have been boiling for about 10 minutes now. I'm gonna give it one final stir. You can see here how it has thickened already, and this is amazing. I love how nice and thick the sauce is looking. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna put my fire all the way to low. I'm gonna put a lid on it like this, and I'm gonna cook it for another 10 minutes. This meal is absolutely delicious. Perfect for any busy mama out there coming home from work. It is so simple to make. Now is your turn to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.